Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm playing with Pretty Prints and Nature's Prints because spring is on the horizon, folks, and so I thought a lovely way to say a little thank you would be to create this just pretty seed pouch. So I've just got a couple of packets of seeds, and I just thought I would send those as a little thank you to someone, and obviously you can use them to keep the seed packets in if you wanted later, and it's just a simple little pouch. And I've used the lovely Nature's Prints stamp set, as you can see here, the accompanying dies, which has this lovely shape here, and these accents as well as cutting out these floral shapes too. And the paper I've used is the Pretty Prints DSP, and I'll show you this one in the catalogue as well. So what you get is it's 12 by 12 and you get 4 sheets each of 3 designs. So that means you get a sheet of each design in each colourway. So here are the patterns. So you've got this lovely one with a kind of a splotchy background splattered again, and the idea being it's like the Sunprint paper where you leave it, photoreactive paper, leave it out and get different effects. And again you've got that, you can see that pattern on the back, and then this all over pattern here, and a more muted background, and then Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay. So the easiest way to sort of show you is in here. So here it is in the catalogue. It's on page 133, and you can see they've got them in the 4 colourways, and there are lots of different colours because you've got that lightning Sunprint effect. You can actually put all sorts of colour combinations together. So that's the DSP I'm using. That's my stamp set. So I'm going to use some Rich Raspberry, and although it's not stated as complimentary, I'm going to use some Fresh Freesia because I think it goes really well. And you can see here, I just love the colour of that together. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So I've got some scrap bits of card here, and I've also already die cut out one of my label shapes as well. So I'm going to stamp my large one in probably Rich Raspberry. I haven't actually got my ink pads out. So big stamp, and it's a distinctive one, so it's often easy just to go ink pad to stamp, particularly with distinctive. It doesn't get quite so such a heavy set of a lot of ink on it. So there we go, and I want 2 of those. There we go. So another one. And then you can die cut those with our image, so I'm going to pop that in there. And with our dies, you will find if you just pop them, you should just be able to see all of your image easily around it. So that can go through my die cutting machine. I'm also going to cut a couple of the little fronds from some Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to cut a label from some Blackberry Bliss, which again, it's not listed, but again, it works well with the colours in the card. And while my ink pad is out, I'm actually going to stamp my sentiment. So on this die cut, I'm just going to use my grid paper to help keep that straight, and just come in, hover over the top. There we go. And what I did with my other one is I just used this sprig stamp to add a little bit of detail around the edge as well. So again, you can just pop that like so. And let's get our die cutting done. So I've got 2 of my sprigs, I've got my 2 Fresh Freesia, and I've got a Blackberry Bliss all ready to go. So in order to get the label layer, which you've got here, all I'm going to do is cut my solid shape, my dark one, straight down the middle there. Do this lots with different punches. Just come in with some adhesive on the back, and up to you whether you prefer a seal. I'm just going to put a bit of Tombow there to give me a bit of wiggle room. Move those to the side. And then just lay that on the top there, in the middle. And the same on the other side. Probably should have not put the Tombow on it all in one go. That would have been more sensible. So I'm just trying to create an equal border and keep it straight. Which I haven't done as well on that side. There we go. If you line up the two corners, that will generally pop it in the middle. Again, as I say, Tombow gives you a bit of wiggle room. There we go. So that's it there. You can pop some dimensionals on the back. I haven't kept this very straight at all. Well, I'm sure no one will notice. So that can go to one side. We'll add some dimensionals. I'm going to put my dies to one side so I don't lose them. And then those are our ones for the front. So for the panel on the front, I've got a piece of card that is 7 by 14.5 centimetres and some DSP which is 6.5 by 14 centimetres. So I'm just going to layer that together. See there? And that we can then start to build up our panel. So all I did with these was because they're quite large, I found that they've got lots of places for you to add adhesive to the back. That means they're great for adding with dimensionals if you wanted to. I thought if someone was going to use this to store the seeds in afterwards, then it probably just needed to be flat, otherwise it's going to catch. And I just came up from the top right there and popped my other one in from the bottom, and where those overlap in the middle, that's going to be covered up by our label in a moment. These little twiddly bits, they are a little bit on the fine side to add Tombow, but I find if you just dot them like so, and particularly if you can leave them for a few seconds, almost for the glue to kind of, if you haven't put too much on, for it almost to kind of start drying, it becomes quite tacky, which means that it will grab the paper quite quickly. Now, if you don't like getting inky fingers, obviously we've got our fabulous tweezers that you can use now. So I'm just going to pop those. And these are reverse tweezers. They come in a set with the embossing tools, but what that means is when you release, they grab, which when you're doing embossing is really useful. It's not useful when you do that. There you go. And I'm just going to pop that one down there. And as you can see, it lifts up, just press it down and you'll be fine. So there we have our panel. We're going to add some dimensionals onto the back here. And I'm going to cover them just across the middle there. And you can see how wonky I've actually got that, but you know what? You won't notice it once it's on the front. So you can measure this if you want to. You're going to come about 7 centimetres up halfway, but I just find as long as you pop it pretty much in the middle, there we go, and that's ready to go on the front once we've created our pocket, which we're going to do, and it's very simple scoring for this. So you're going to want a piece of card that is 21 by 18 centimetres. If you're working in inches, 8 1/4 by 7 1/4, and all the dimensions in both centimetres and inches are in the description box below this as well. So on that 21 centimetre edge, you're going to score first of all at 2.5. So I'm going to do that on the right hand side here. Flip it round, and then you're going to score at 10, at 11, and at 18.5, 18.5. Then turn it round, and on the short edge, really simple, you're just going to score at 1.5 centimetres on both sides. Like so. And it is as simple as that. So if you can score a card base, you can make this really easily. So now you want to grab your bone folder and just reinforce those score lines. For those narrow ones in the middle, particularly when you're doing it in inches, because it is a little bit narrower, it's only 1/4 of an inch, just come in from each side, line it up and score. And with these, it's really good if you can reinforce them well, because that will just help keep the packet closed. Okay, and when you've done that, just a little bit of trimming is needed. So we're going to cut away on our long edge. I'm going to cut at a very slight angle at both ends on each side of the score, on the score line, and cut away, but cut straight on here. So just cut straight up, and then on the middle just fold away one of those tabs and snip it across. Okay, and do the same on the other side. So angle, angle, and then trim away. And like I say, straight on the ends. So you're going to end up with a piece that looks like that. Okay. Now we're going to do a bit of gluing, and all you're going to do is add some glue to these 4 corners and then fold it all in. Your preference of glue, I would recommend you use some fairly rigid one, so something like some Seal Plus, or if you've got time to allow it to dry, then you can use Tombow as well. And then you just fold those in and burnish well into the corners. Same on the other side. And then next we want to add our ribbon onto the side. Now you want this kind of halfway up, so around about 7 centimetres. So I'm just going to use my my centre line on my DSP to do that. So now we just need to add our ribbon. So I've just lined this up with using my grid paper at about 7.5 centimetres on that centre line. I just pop a little bit of adhesive across there, and that's really to help me more than anything. And I'm just going to come in with some of our coordinating ribbon, and this one is Fresh Freesia, and I'm just kind of probably going to want to take around about 40 centimetres ish, enough to tie around and create a bow. So I'm just going to fold that in half and just lay that across there. Now you can come in and add your layer. Ribbon's nice and thin, so just use some Tombow around the outer edge. And you can pop that onto the front there. Just allow it a moment to set. And then you've just got 2 little pouches, perfect for these. I mean, these are night scented stock. They are one of my favourite, I have to say. And then this is just a wildflower mix of seeds. But you could colour coordinate it if you wanted. You've got plenty of space in the middle there, so it's not going to snag. And all you need to do now is tie that together with a little bow. And there we have a couple of pretty thank you gifts, perfect with some seeds so that they can sow them ready for spring and summer flowering. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen today, then just pop along to Stampin' Up, and when you get to the end, select me as your demonstrator, and I'm Heidi. So thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button. Bye now.